Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you're doing very well in the beginning of this week. By the way, guys, if you do enjoy the content, please consider dropping that like and subscribe. By the way, I'll be streaming on Wednesday for about I will target half an hour, but probably will be an hour. I will put out the invite either today or tomorrow. Not the invite, the stream scheduled. So I hope to see a lot of you guys there. Now today. By the way, this week will be a major week because we have something like 800 earnings coming out. We have the PCE, the favorite inflation metric of the Fed. We have a bit of a cyclicality as we are approaching the end of October. October is always a difficult month because it's considered one of the crash months. November, December tend to be good for stocks, but October is always one of the most, gibberish. March, also not an easy month, but it's a bit more 50-50. And I think also the Fed is going to disclose a bit what they're going to do next. There are a lot of people seem to be thinking that they will stop raising rates. As I mentioned, even if they raise 25 basis points, I don't think it's a big deal anymore. I really think they'll probably pause it and they will use the conflict that's happening, unfortunately, in the Middle East to come out and say, hey, we're just going to stop here because we want to assess what's changing in the world, blah, 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 this kind of stuff. This is what I expect them to say. The week has started volatile as usual. As of late, Russell underperforming, Dow Jones negative, S&P going, oscillating between the green and the black, between the green and the red, and Nasdaq is leading the way on the upside. And I do think, seeing some of the cycles, we should be approaching another second bottom for these stocks around this week. This would be normal circumstances, but the world is not normal at the moment, so it's a bit difficult to say. What's encouraging is that TLT is up, so that is the longer dated bonds. That is good because I mentioned this 100 times, but it just proves to be correct every single time that the bond market leads the stock market. People always look at the wrong things, thinking that they are leading indicators when they are lagging indicators, and vice versa. Now, gold is a bit down today. I think Peter Schiff was celebrating like crazy the recent raise in gold. So in case you guys don't know that, every time he throws a big celebration, typically it's followed by somewhat of a decent sell-off. And he was also saying that Bitcoin was finished again, which means Bitcoin is rallying above 31,000. This is the typical Peter Schiff indicator. When he's especially bullish on something, that's when you should start to feel a bit bearish, because he's very good in being wrong. I mean, it's very impressive. Now, again, going forward, I do think interest rates have either peaked or are about to peak. People say, oh yeah, TLT is down 50% to 55%, and it is. But TLT comes from a bull market that started in the 1980s. If you bought 30-year bonds in 1980s, you made it. You're getting 20% interest, and as the rates just kept on falling, your bond keeps on appreciating while you're collecting 20%. That is the trade of the century, of course, before crypto. So it's normal that we actually crash quite decisively here. And I think what's going to happen is the Fed will cut rates, and it will expect inflation, and it will find out that they won't have inflation. You see, cost of debt, interest rates, is a cost, which means it's passed down to consumers. So in the short run, or at least in the short term, you can see a deflationary pressure because one big cost of a company is now decreasing. But people think, but if interest rates are too low, too much money in the economy, this goes wild. No, because the majority of people is already over-indebted, same as companies. So yes, for a company like Microsoft, Apple, for a guy like Bill Gates, sure, they will have cheaper money. But for the average Joe, it doesn't make much difference. But so I do expect some sort of a double bottom this week on stocks, but the cycles are a bit tangled with the conflict in the Middle East. You can have spikes both down and up, and that's the nature of the beast. However, now the most important part is the crypto cycle is actually right on schedule, and we should be rising right now, which we are. I did say 35k Bitcoin by the end of the year. Maybe you're gonna get there sooner rather than later. I get the feeling that November is gonna be a big month in terms of some news around the X and Pulsechain ecosystem, because I think the charges against Richard Hart may be dropped. By the way, in case you guys don't know, X, Pulsechain, PulseX, HEDRON, ICOSA are all pumping again like crazy. I think HEDRON is up something like 22% just today. X started the day by going down 20-something%, but it recovered all of that and is now up around 7%. So what's happening is you're starting to have these major sell-offs and dips, but they are getting eaten out completely, which in the past, they would start a cascade of going down, and now they go down and they get eaten all the way through. So it started to feel like the old X that we used to see in the past. So I do get a feeling that in November, we're going to hear some nice news around the SEC case, but we'll see if I'm right, if I'm wrong. I also think that in November, you're going to start to see very clear signs that the Bitcoin spot ETF will be approved, and it's going to be more of a matter of dates of launch rather than is it launching. Okay, and what also happened today, in case people don't know, we are starting to see bank runs in China once again. So these things come out a little bit, you don't get too much information because, well, it's China, but you do see some things. And by the way, the Chinese stock market is down pre-pandemic lows. So it actually, the rise also during the pandemic, and it's now dropping below the pre-pandemic lows. Remember that person here in the channel that told you that don't look at commercial real estate and all these things, look at China and government bonds? What crashed? China, government bonds. What were people telling you to look? Oh my God, the commercial real estate, oh, the banks, the regional banks is going to be the end, blah, blah. No, everyone is looking at those things. Look at what nobody thinks can go down. That's it. Don't forget, in the beginning of 2020, China would take over the world. So we'll see if that's going to happen or not. I don't think so, but we'll see. Now, crypto, very encouraging. Start to see the green candles come back. Everyone's mood is now improving. That's normal. I've said this number before. 42,000 on Bitcoin is key. Around 30,000, Mr. Michael Saylor sees the green again. But above 42,000, the average person sees the green on Bitcoin. So that is going to be a key number. I'm starting to get a bit concerned about everybody's agreeing on Bitcoin 150K, which tells me that we're either going to undershoot it or overshoot it. Undershoot it, I would say below 100K. Overshoot it, I would say probably 300K or so. We'll see. Now I'm getting more and more convinced that 150 is not going to be the top. It's not going to be the number to be seen because is the consensus trade. So everybody's pointing to the same thing. Now, I hope that we're going to have a crypto bull cycle like we had before, a nice 1 year and a half long bull market. But with all the craziness in the world, with the coming of institutional money, which is going to be a major sell the news event. So when it's going to get launched, when it's approved, it's going to be very bullish, okay? I think prices will run up. But the actual day of the launching, I think things will turn south very quickly. And it depends a bit on the timing. If it does before the halvening, maybe we still have a proper bull cycle. If it comes like in September 2024, for example, I do think we're going to see the bull cycle cut short. I think it's going to be extremely explosive. I think it's going to be extreme like hockey stick. but it will be shorter in that scenario. So scenario one, Bitcoin spot ETFs come out after the way after the halving, cut the bull cycle short. You see a ramp up like this. It's going to be crazy. But if people are not positioned, I think the majority of people will miss out. My opinion, not financial advice. You guys go and do whatever you want. That's why I've been positioning in 2023. So if the bull market starts tomorrow, I'm ready. If it starts today, I'm ready. If it starts in 3 weeks, I'm ready. I don't care. I'm already set up. But of course, the longer it takes, the longer I can accumulate. So that's what I am doing. Now you guys go ahead and do whatever you want. And if it comes before the halving, let's say January or something, maybe we still have a normal bull cycle in terms of time duration. Maybe it's going to go all the way between 12 months and 18 months. Now, there are altcoins that work a bit differently, so that needs to be said as well. So usually altcoins top 12 months after the halving. There was a case of 18 months, but there was just one data point, so I'm not sure if it's going to be repeated or not, but it is indeed something to be concerned about these two scenarios. What I've been trying to do is to prepare myself beforehand, so I don't need to guess and play these little games. And what I'm planning on doing is, once we hit certain targets, I have plenty of videos on this, I'll start de-risking a little bit, so that way I'm protected. And if it keeps on going up, oh my god, I'm going to be the happiest man on the planet. So that's it, guys. Very encouraging developments on the crypto market is one to see. Banks are struggling over there in China. Crypto goes up. That's what you want to see. But I am seeing some strong pumps, which starting to tell me that somebody knows on the background something that is going to probably come out in November. So guys, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for helping the channel. Liking and subscribing is the only thing that I ask. So thank you very much, guys, and I'll catch you tomorrow. And I hope to see a lot of you guys on the live stream on Wednesday. So thank you very much, guys. Turn on that notification bell so you guys know when I'm live. So see you guys, and I'll catch you tomorrow.